Good afternoon, everyone. This is Maxie Collier. I am so excited to have you join me for today's webinar. Now, if you've seen some of my previous webinars, you know I usually have a big team of folks and bring in a lot of graphics and all that sort of thing. But today, we're really in this new era. I'm really focusing on intimate webinars that give maximum value in the maximum time. So our goal for today's presentation is to teach you some immediate tools, tips, and techniques that you can begin to use for planning, designing, and building your own websites. Now, if you don't make it through anything else in today's session, if you have to bounce away, I'm going to give you your first immediate tip. This actually isn't even in my notes. I said, let me just go ahead and do this now real quick. One, I want you to open a notepad, either a Microsoft Word document or a Google Docs document. And I want you to write down this prompt. Oh, also open up your AI tool. Your preferred AI tool may be OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude from Anthropic, or what we're using, Gemini. And so I want you to write down this prompt, and we're going to expand on all of this more substantially. I am building a new website. Ask me questions to help me plan it. I am building a new website. Ask me questions to help me plan it. Now, we're going to get into this in much more detail, but if you don't do anything else but apply that prompt and have your AI begin to ask you a series of questions, well, it's going to kind of replicate what we're about to do in this next session. And so with that in mind, while you're working on this, let's go ahead and begin. So just a quick introduction. I'm Maxie Collier. I built my first website in 1995. There's all sorts of digital artifacts all over the web where I've been deeply involved in digital media production and multiple facets of digital media production for nearly 30 years. So now I'm so excited to see how we're using these AI tools, which have been realized, and how we're able to now apply them in our lives. Over the past 2 years through AI Toolbox Bootcamp, I have been teaching dozens and dozens of people how to use these tools, where we've been going in deep, learning how to use AI to create books, merchandise, video, websites, and much more. But today, we're focusing extensively on how to use AI to help you plan. So as I mentioned, we want you to go ahead and set up your workspace, whether this is Google Drive, Dropbox, Notes. I want you to have a place where you can go begin to organize all this volume of information that we're going to begin to generate. Because we're going to use Google. In my case, I'm using Google Docs to gather my notes. You may use Google Sheets if you have volumes, or you may use Microsoft Excel. But the main point is we have lots of links, prompts, and information about to come along the way. And as you can see, I will be periodically doing like I'm in church and dabbing my face and nose because it is about 110 degrees out here in Las Vegas today. Okay, so I gave you that prompt earlier, but we're going to expand on it later because here's the series of questions we're going to begin to answer. We're going to first define our goals. What is the goal of the website we're building? Is it to generate more leads? Is it to build a community? Is it to provide a platform where we can train and bring people together? What is the goal? Then we're going to conduct some research and talk about how you can conduct research using AI to help you define those goals more carefully. Then we're going to help you come up with a blueprint and a plan by which you can begin to deploy this website. Now, why use AI in the website planning process? As a business manager, owner, or executive, using AI can help you more accurately and more carefully plan the schedule, the budget, and the goals for various stages of your website project. But also as a DIY person, if you are one who loves to build and to use these tools yourself, the AI has made it easier than ever for anyone who doesn't know how to use code or doesn't get into the technical nuts and bolts. The AI has elevated and made this process to where through natural language conversation, or using the AI term, natural language processing, through natural language processing, the AI can take your words and ideas and begin to help you formulate your website project. So while if you are experimenting with the prompt that I gave you earlier, and it was a prompt that said, I am building a new website, ask me questions to help me plan it. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to give you a little personal story. While I was working on my notes for this project a couple of weeks ago, my late grandmother's birthday was on July 10th. And as I was working on the notes for this project, I was all up in the nuts and bolts. And it occurred to me some early lessons that my grandmother Pearlie Mae gave me. Now, my grandmother lived to 88 years old. She was a major influence all of my life. She was the one when my parents were in their 20s and 30s as young students. It was my grandmother Pearlie Mae who was taking care of all of us there at the house. And me being son number one, I got many, many lessons from my grandmother, including how to cook. Now, one of those lessons was on how to make something called roux. Now, if you've ever had Cajun or Creole food, then you've had roux. Roux is the gravy, the sauce that is made using butter, oil, and flour. But roux serves as the foundation for so many different types of food in the Cajun and Creole culture. We have gumbo, we have red beans and rice, we have jambalaya. All of these were dishes that my grandmother taught me. But along the way, some of the lessons that she taught that are relevant for your website project. She would tell me things like, son, always get the best and the freshest ingredients. Choose quality over quantity. She would tell me things like, son, you need to prepare ahead of time because when things start happening, it's going to happen fast. But at the same time, once we actually started cooking that roux, it was a very slow, meticulous process that could not be speeded along. We had to be slow and steady, putting that flour in there, putting that oil in there and that butter, and making that roux nice and dark for our Cajun food. And then the other thing she taught me was we had to customize our food for the audience. Sometimes there were people who loved some nice spicy food. Other people, we had to bring it down a little bit. So with our website projects, it's kind of a similar thing. There's a series of things that are foundational for anyone building a website project. No matter the budget, no matter the team, no matter what. So now if so many of us are using the same technology, and if so many of us have access to the same tools, well, what are the things that help us customize our websites? What are the things that help us go from that foundational roux to our own customized dishes that we are serving up? These are some of the things we're going to be talking about. And let's start off with branding. Branding. Yes, as we talk about building our website, we have to be able to answer, even if you're following along with this with the AI right now, it's going to be asking you questions like this. You know, what's the name of your company? Do you have a domain name? What's the name of the domain? We're going to have considerations such as our colors for our project. I don't know if I can, let me bring this up full screen. There we go. All right, so we're going to be needing to know our company name, our domain name, our brand colors, our logo, our editorial policy. What's an editorial policy? An editorial policy is those things that we will and will not do during the course of doing our projects, or the editorial content that we will not display. It's the values that we will display. I want to thank you, family, for everyone who's joining us right now. I'm seeing you all up here in the threads. And as I said, I am doing this webinar solo. So it may take a moment to get back to some of these questions, but be patient with me. Okay, so your company name. Hopefully you already have set that up. But now for your domain name. You know, if you go to namecheap.com, namecheap.com, or if you go to GoDaddy, because so many people use it, or if you go to cloudflare.com, any of these websites are places where you can go search for your domain names. You can experiment to find the names that are most relevant for your company and for your brand. There we go. Domain name providers, Namecheap, Cloudflare, and GoDaddy. Now, previously, GoDaddy was the king of the domain names. Many of us have used them over the decades, but nowadays I do most of my domain name purchases at Namecheap. It makes them super easy to manage, and they're very cost effective, and they give you free privacy. I also use Cloudflare because Cloudflare is one of the leading security providers out there. They also make domain names available to the public very cost effectively. Now, in addition to our branding, one of the other things that's going to determine the flavor of our website project is the tech stack. It is the technical stack of equipment hardware, software, tools, and services that we use to deliver our website. Now, previously, the tech stack was the most intimidating part of this process. There were so many things we had to learn about servers and how to deal with security and memory and scaling. Fortunately, nowadays, in this era of cloud computing and software-based services, we have way less concerns about dealing with hardware, servers, and things like that. It was the same for software. For the longest time, in the early days when I was making those first websites, I had to learn how to build websites using HTML code, CSS code, even old PHP scripts, all sorts of archaic code, text-based technologies. Fortunately, now today, we have a content category called content management systems and learning management systems. These are specialized applications that are developed in order to help us make websites faster and easier than ever. The most popular and the most common of the content management systems is WordPress. Now, on the other hand, in recent years, there's been another movement. Do you guys remember when we used to get floppy disks and CDs and DVDs, and we had to install software into our computers locally? Well, now most of us get our software by going to a website and we download it, or we go to a website and we log in and use that software. That is called software as a service, SaaS. You may see this term all over the web right about now because it is one of the biggest movements in the idea of migrating things from local computers and putting them up in the cloud where people can begin to use them. So how do we choose the right tech stack? How do we know which hardware and software is appropriate for us? Well, one of the places I like to go to first always is reddit.com, the discussion forum. Reddit is a place that allows us to post questions and find people in the community who can provide us answers. But we can also do the same in LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups. So if I'm considering using WordPress for my content management system, or if I'm considering using something like Thinkific for my learning management system, or even Wix, any of these applications I'm considering, I'm first going to go to a Facebook group, to a Reddit group, to a LinkedIn group, and I'm going to see what other people are saying about this software or these services. I'm going to ask what questions, what common problems they're having. I'm going to ask about the volume of traffic that they are getting, or the volume of sales, the volume of email, anything that gives an indication of how that software handles volumes of people or interactions. Then I'm going to go start doing some free trials. You can find free trials for many of the leading softwares and platforms. For example, High Level, which we'll be discussing more at length, Amazon.com, DigitalOcean.com, Shopify.com, Elementor.com. All of these websites have free trials where you can go and test the software and see the results that you're getting. Okay, so we said that the hardware makes a difference. The software makes a difference. Now the content. Once we have our website up, it is just a vessel. It's just the container. What else is going to help us delineate our website from anyone else's website? Now, again, we mentioned that the branding, such as the logo and the colors and more, are going to help, but it's also the content. What content will we have on these websites? Well, most of us are familiar with web pages. These are pages of information, text, images, video, and audio that do not change very much. So it's called static content. It's the idea that we can put a page up and that page will not need to be changed very much. On the other hand, there's another type of content called post, such as blog post or podcast post. These are individual articles that go on our website. In some cases, I may only need a one-page website with no blog post on it, no other services. In other cases, I may want to have a website that has hundreds and hundreds of blog posts, or thousands even. If I have a popular blog or a podcast, it's going to be posts that I'm going to be putting on there. And these posts, as I mentioned, can be comprised of images, video, and audio. Now, lastly, in terms of deciding what is going to make our website unique or special and serve our purpose, That is determining the offers. What do we want to offer to the public by way of our website? Do we want to offer online services? Do we want someone to book us and hire us to come to their on-site or their location? Do we want to offer digital products like digital downloads and ebooks? Do we want to offer physical products like t-shirts and more? These questions about our offer, again, help us get to our unique offering. Now, let's talk about the types of websites and the wide variety of websites that we have. As I mentioned, there's the one-page website. This is a individual single page that has our branding information, has text, images, video, and audio. In some cases, it may be as simple as a coming soon website. We're all familiar with the coming soon websites. However, there's another one-page website that is super powerful for any of us who have any sort of idea for a project or a venture or an endeavor. One of the first web pages that you're going to want to create is called a waitlist page. A waitlist page is a one-page website that says we have a product or service or offer that's coming to you soon. Enter your email in the address below to be contacted. From that point in time, the wait lists are able to collect information and allow us to update potential customers, clients, or partners about how that website, about when it's launched. Now, in addition to the wait list, all of us have seen the single one-page website that is offering a product that someone can click and buy immediately. That's most typically called a landing page. A landing page is a sales page, or it is a waitlist page, or it may be a webinar sign-up page like many of you use to sign up for this webinar. However, what we must keep in mind is that this one-page website is super powerful and super simple. So if you're thinking about starting a venture, if you're thinking about starting an endeavor, you can now take that prompt that I gave you earlier and go into your AI and say, I am building a one-page waitlist website for, and describe your company name and brand. And now you can say, give me more details. And the AI is going to walk you through and help you make the plans. So you see what we're doing, you guys? We're filling in these prompts with the details and the information that are specific to our website project. Okay, let's keep it moving. The next one, the web portal and multi-page website. This is now we recognize that our company or our business may need a website that has multiple pages. It has a home page, the landing page, but it may also need an about page or a contact page or a product page or a booking calendar. So this is now a web portal. It is now a web portal. I mentioned earlier about blogs and how so many people love to use blogging as a means to communicate with the world. You can also now set up a full online shop as part of this website. Now, beyond the one-page website, beyond the web portal, multi-page website, there's a whole world of offering built around advanced sites. These are sites where we may want to offer an online training center. We may want to have a community hub where people can log in and build and network with each other. We may want to have a podcast hub where we aggregate all of our podcasts so they can be discovered by Google and increasing our search engine optimization. If you're a YouTuber, if you're a podcaster, and you don't have your own blog or website, you're missing out tremendously on the opportunity to benefit from search engine optimization and have people find you through the web. And many people also are seeking to build a video portal, whether you want to make something as complex as a Netflix type portal or a simple blog filled with videos. And lastly is the world of custom web apps. This is where you recognize that none of the off-the-shelf software or services are going to serve your purpose, but you now need to go in and build a custom web application that can take data or information and input from the user, process it in a particular way, and return some results. There's many web services and web apps that many of us are using right now, including StreamYard, which I'm using to stream this service. Okay, so we mentioned about defining our goals. So keeping in mind, you guys, we're going to come back to that prompt in a minute. I'm going to give you another prompt, but all of these questions and these answers, these things, you should be jotting these questions and answers down into your notepad or your Google Doc so you don't feel you have to answer all this information right now. But in general, what is the purpose of the website? We talked about the different types, but now we're asking about what is the purpose of this website? Is it to primarily disseminate information? Is it to collect information? Is it to bring people together? Is it to promote me as an individual? Is it to promote my company or brand? What's the purpose of the website? Then next, who is the target audience for this website? Who is the target audience for the offer, for your business, for the product or service that you want promoted? Now, in some cases, that may be super obvious and easy because we can just go look back at our past clients and we can begin to build client avatars of the different types of individuals and personalities and the different cells and the different people we've worked with before. In other cases, especially if it's an untested business, it may be ambiguous. You may have to do some substantial research, or you may have to do some test marketing, which again takes us back to the one-page website. When you have a waitlist page that explains your idea and your concept, and you send that page to people and they enter their email address or they interact with it, you're doing some testing. If you run Facebook ads to that page and people start to opt in, you're doing testing and you're generating data that Facebook can use to help you understand better who your target audience is. Next question. In defining these goals and needs, what's the functionality that's needed in the website? What is the functionality? That goes back to the type of website. Do I need the ability to just publish text as a blog? Or do I also need the ability to publish video where I can upload a video, click publish, and that's going to be available on my blog? Do I need to be able to upload audio files and create podcasts? What functionality is required for my website? What functionality is required? Now, again, when you go to these Reddit groups, when you go to these Facebook and these LinkedIn groups to kind of find some of this information, you're going to find people talking about the functionalities that are offered by the software you want to use. You're going to find people talking about the strengths and the weaknesses. But that is also the benefit of you doing these free trials, because the free trial is going to allow you to actually get hands-on and test this software. So now it's not theoretical anymore. You can go in and make web pages. You can go in and set up funnels and sales, all sorts of things that you can actually experiment with real time. So that is all part of the research process. We can use tools like Google. There's a tool called SEMrush that allows us to find the keywords. Oh, now this is something that's actually very important too. As we talk about defining our website, we will begin to generate a list of words that represent the search words that people are commonly using when they're trying to find our product, our brand, or our service. Those are called keywords. The keywords that you see your competitors using in their social media posts and in their ads, they can help provide a roadmap to you as you begin planning your project. So, creating the blueprint. Now, I talked about opening up Google Drive and Google Docs in order to begin building these notes. But there's also some other tools that we can use to help us more abstractly envision our website. Let me see if I get myself back on camera. One of the tools I use is these, just plain little index cards that allow us to sketch out ideas about pages, and then we can reorder them and other things. We can literally draw. Okay, you guys, now this is what's amazing about the AI right now. We can draw a diagram for a website that we want on a piece of paper, take that image and attach it to the paid version of ChatGPT, GPT Plus, and tell it to read that image and make us a diagram. We can tell it to take our little bits of notes and begin to help us assemble our blueprint. Now, so here we are at the real prompt now. So based upon all the information that we ascertained previously, this is the actual prompt that is going to serve so many people in this process. And here it is. I am building, and again, use this with ChatGPT, use this with Gemini, or use this with Anthropic's Claude. You can go right now to chatgpt.com. You can go to gemini.google.com and begin using any of these. All right, so here is the prompt, you guys. I am building a custom website for the purpose of, which we defined earlier, and I am targeting the target audience, put the target audience in there. And you may say, what functionalities do you recommend for this website? What functionalities do you recommend for this website? So now it's going to take the little bits of information that we've given it, and it's going to help us come up with a understanding of what functions we may need to serve our target audience in the way that we intend. But now, if you're using ChatGPT Plus, the paid version, there's an even more powerful capability that you have in hand. You can go over to the left corner of ChatGPT and click where it says Explore Custom GPTs. And you can go up into the corner and click Create a Custom GPT for your project. Now, what this is doing is it's allowing us to take the generic version of ChatGPT and customize it and tailor it to be an assistant to serve us. Yes, we are building our first AI agent, an assistant to help us with our website project. And let's get into that prompt. That prompt is, okay, so once you get over there, ChatGPT Plus, you click Custom GPTs, you click Create GPT in the upper right corner. And again, keep this in mind. You can do this for every website, every project. And then we get even more specific and we make custom ones to help us with the marketing part of our website or the content part. But let's get through this first prompt. It says, I am building a custom website for, fill in the purpose of the website, and I am targeting a target audience, fill that in, with the following functionalities. Create a custom GPT to help me with this project. At that point in time, that GPT will live there on your sidebar. And at any time you need, you can click on it and it will be prepared to help you with parts of your website project based on that specific information we gave. This is a super powerful technique that any of us can use right now to start getting help with our projects. All right. So again, we mentioned about choosing the right website domain. We mentioned, and just to clarify a little bit more about website domains, it started off with the .com domains. Those continue to be the premium king of domains. But in these decades, we have had various domains that have grown in popularity and come up and down. For example, .net, .org, .tv, and the latest .io and .ai. The .io, .ai are tremendously popular since the Web3 era of a couple of years ago. But they are brand new domains. So as you're searching for a domain, you always want to start first with your company domain, but then you want to try to get in and see what other variations you can grab in order to protect your business. Now, I'm going to make this document available to everyone. So all these notes are going to be in there, but we're going to start getting into talking about some of the simplest tools to use. Some of the simplest ways for us to start building our websites right now. So yes, we can go over to WordPress.com and we can use the WordPress directly through WordPress.com. We can use Wix.com. We can use Shopify. We can go to HighLevel.com. All of these are tools that allow us to make custom websites, custom pages, and get them up using page builders. And most importantly, they all have vast communities that support the tool. Now, there's a whole new way. Okay, all of these tools that I've shown you right here, these are all legacy tools that have existed. Most of them, let's see, High Level's the newest one. It's been around for about 7 or 8 years. WordPress has been around about 20 plus years. These are all very mature tools. There's a whole new web world of tools that are powered directly by AI to help you build websites. So if you go to gamma.app or 10web.io or elementor.com, any of those three sites, you can enter your keywords, you can enter the description of your website that we mentioned earlier, and those apps are going to take your keywords and your description, and they are going to begin to build you a website. They will begin to build you a website. Now, that will not be a perfect website, but it will be a great foundation, a great root, a great baseline for your website. And again, you can go to Gamma app right now. Now, what's dope about Gamma app is you can create websites, presentations, and a whole variety of things just from that one process. I use Gamma app to make this presentation here. I can also connect it to a domain, and this presentation is available anywhere on the web as a website, all with the same effort. This is the power and the benefit of these AI tools. Now, we talked earlier about if you need a custom web application. That means you have an idea for an app or a website or service that you can't find any examples of it out there, and you're going to have to build that from scratch. Well, we use services like Webflow.io, but more importantly, Bubble.io is one of the leading services for building complex web applications without coding. It will allow you to enter your AI keywords, to enter your prompt, and it's going to help you begin to build a complex website. But again, it's going to lay the foundations. It's going to make the pages. It's going to make the navigation. It's going to establish the relationships. But you, as an advanced user, are going to have to go in and deal with the databases, connecting the functionality. But that said, there are volumes of custom web applications that have been built and sold using Bubble.io. But before you get too excited about it, I want to talk a little about some considerations as we're choosing our platform, our hosting, and our software and other applications. One of the ones that's most important as we talk about services like Wix and Bubble.io and some of these other specialized Gamma app, all of these are amazing website building applications. However, if you use those services, you are subject to something that we call vendor lock-in. Vendor lock-in. That means if I use Wix, if I use Shopify, if I use Gamma app to build my website, when should I ever decide to not do business with that company anymore, there is no way for me to get my data and walk. We call that data portability. Data portability. Data portability, it means we have the option at any time to download every bit of data that we've uploaded or generated using that website, app, or service. Even Facebook has an option for us to go there and download the gigs and gigs of photos, videos, and stuff that we've uploaded there. So as you're selecting the proper format for your business, if you ever intend to scale or grow or do something with this big business that is a little bit different, you need to be aware of your vendor lock-in and data portability. Now, how do we get around that? Well, fortunately, nowadays, using tools like this one here, Elementor.com, Elementor is a service offering WordPress hosting, but they started off first by creating a page builder that works in WordPress. When we create pages using Elementor, we have the ability to export those pages and open them in any WordPress site, which means our data is portable. If I design a beautiful page that I'm super happy with in Elementor, I can then go to any WordPress site, import that in Elementor, and it will look the exact same. This is one of the reasons why open source software such as WordPress continues to remain popular. Now, fortunately, Elementor also has the ability where we can paste a website URL and it will import that whole page into WordPress and allow us to edit it. So now we can go to a website that's made on any platform, paste it into that Elementor, paste that URL into Elementor, and 10web.io has this exact same capability. 10web, not only can 10web take our keywords and our prompts and create a website for us, but we can paste the URL into 10web and it will pull the whole website in for us to be able to begin editing using the Elementor plugin on the 10web site. So that's a function on 10web and on Elementor. Shopify also has a page builder that allows us to do a similar thing, where we can set up our Shopify store, install this page builder, enter a URL, and copy any website that's on the web. So that is the alternative to vendor lock-in. When we have the ability to download our whole WordPress site and take that to any host and reset it up, that's super powerful. That's one of the reasons why we choose. Now, on the flip side, if I'm making a landing page just to sell something very quickly, and I'm more concerned about that one page, you may not need data portability. Data portability is going to matter as you are creating volumes and volumes of pages, as you're creating volumes of podcasts and blogs and other things. You want to be able to have the option to pull those things in and take them to other places. Okay, so intermediate tools, but now there's one more that's not listed up here on the advanced tools, which I encourage everyone to try this free trial also. It's called Softr, Softr.io, Softr.io. Using Softr.io, you can enter your keywords in a prompt, and it's going to begin to help you build way more complex, advanced custom applications. All right, so we talked about the AI, the essential tools such as Elementor. And now there's another tool as you get more advanced. It's called Figma. If you have any desire to begin a career in web development on a very professional level and to work with other agencies and organizations, Figma is a design tool that allows us to lay out and build website pages, just the design part. It doesn't host the pages. However, there are many platforms that can take those pages designed in Figma and begin to work with them and create stuff. Okay, so now I want to get into some specific examples and show you guys these things that we're talking about. This is the inside of our AItoolbox.co website. It is AItoolbox.co. This is our platform. Okay, let me introduce the concept here as well, you guys. It's called white label software. White label software. White label software is when we have a vendor who allows us to pay a fee, and we can then brand their software with our branding, our colors, and we maintain the direct relationship with all of our clients. So AI Toolbox is a white labeled software platform. It is high level, which we have been able to brand on our own. Now, I want to talk a little bit about high level because I just spent 4 months transferring dozens and dozens of our websites from WordPress, from Shopify, from Thinkific. I was able to take a dozen different web tools that we were using. I'm talking about Calendly, Vimeo, WordPress, Shopify. I was able to take more than a dozen tools and using high level, have one tool that allows me to create funnel pages, websites, online courses, communities, but most importantly, it also allows me to resell this software to my clients. So now I'm able to have my own custom website platform branded as AI Toolbox Co. And more importantly, I'm able to take that foundational software and begin to customize it extensively to make custom apps. Just like when we started off talking about the roux, allowing us to be customized into different dishes. This SaaS platform allows me to bring my clients in and guide them through the process of building their websites, of building their courses, of building their communities. Now, if you go to AItoolbox.co, you can sign up for this software for $129 a month and make unlimited websites, unlimited funnels, unlimited online stores and courses. But we'll get to that more. Here are some of the websites that I've built using a high level. You can go to latimerlabs.com, latimerlabs.com. This is a perfect example of a one-page website that gets volumes of traffic and generates leads for me. People come to this page and it's like a portfolio page. It has a bunch of different videos of projects that I've done. It has an opt-in form where people can join my newsletter. And more importantly, it is a online billboard for Latimer Labs. Anytime I meet someone, I just say, go to latimerlabs.com and you can see what the work we're doing. It took me about a day to build this website using high level. I could also build this website using Wix, WordPress, Elementor, any of the other services. Now, a lot of folks who've been following us over the past couple of years know that we've been offering the AI Toolbox Bootcamp for about nearly 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in January. But so a year and a half now, we've been offering the AI Toolbox Bootcamp. This is a 6-week online training course where we teach people AI tools, a variety of AI tools in depth while helping them with projects. We originally were running this on WordPress using a WordPress plugin called LearnDash. However, as it got bigger, it was such a pain to deal with the hackers. It was so frustrating to deal with the servers and things like that. So I had to move from a self-hosted plan where I was managing everything to find another solution that was a software as a service. We started off using Thinkific. So actually, in the course of doing this training 4 different times, we've used 4 different platforms. We used WordPress, we've used Thinkific, we've used Mighty Networks, and we are now using High Level in order to run the AI Toolbox Bootcamp. I also want to show you one of our newer websites that you could visit. It's called hiphopstockfootage.com. hiphopstockfootage.com. So in my years of making media, I've accumulated hundreds and hundreds of digital videotapes that have hundreds of hours of video, as well as thousands and thousands of photos. In recent years, I've been able to generate income by licensing these photos and videos out. But the process was always kind of done haphazardly. People would call me and I would search through my database and find things and deliver it to them. Using hip hop stock footage, I'm now able to digitize my video and my audio, and most importantly, put it behind a closed community. Within this community, I can make all of my photos and videos still watermarked available. I can then invite producers and archivists and documentarians to log into this community to see my photos, to see my video footage, and more importantly, to make offers. So now I'm spending the next 6 months digitizing hundreds and hundreds of these videos and of these products to go into hip hop stock footage. But I'm also working with some of my friends who are veterans in the industry to help them digitize their photos and their videos and make them available through hip hop stock footage or their own stock footage websites. Because it is my premise that as we go and generate way more AI media, AI photos, AI video, AI audio, as this occurs, I believe that authentic non-AI media is going to be more important than ever. We already know that it is because this is the media that's being used to train the AI. But that's another course. That's called Mind Your Media. All right, so here we are now, it's the pitch part. I mentioned earlier about AIToolbox.co. Well, I'm about to spend the next 6 months maintaining a lower social media profile as I put together a team of people. I want to find a couple of hundred people who are committed to learning how to use this AI, this digital media, and these websites in order to build their own websites, online shops, courses, community websites. However, this software is not just for building websites. It's also a complete CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management Tool, which means that we can do email, text marketing, we could run Facebook and Google ads, all of that from directly within our software. So my goal over these next 6 months is to find a couple hundred people and for us to work together to help you build your website, to help you build your custom apps, but most importantly, to learn practical applications for these tools. I'm really excited, but I'm also, kind of apprehensive because I have seen the backlash. I'm familiar with the backlash that is occurring with folks over AI. On one hand, there are so many people who have embraced this new tool and these magnificent new tools. And on the other hand, there are people who are feeling so much anxiety and worry and concern. And I can empathize with both. In my career as a publisher, in my career as a filmmaker, and in my career as a technologist, I have seen technology replace jobs. I've seen technology replace opportunities, and I've seen people who were not prepared for these waves. What I want to do over these next few months is help prepare a new wave of individuals, companies, and organizations where we are all experimenting with these tools in practical, real-world applications. So that's why I have this initial offer for AIToolbox.co, and I'm calling it the Founders Offer. In this Founders Offer, our software will be available to you for $129 a month for all the features. By the time we make this available to the public in a few months, that same offering will be $399 a month. But right now, I want to build this team, get this crew together, and I want to learn what you need help with. And I want to help you find solutions, because in doing so, we're finding solutions that are relevant for other people. So if you have any questions, and if you're interested in participating in this AI Toolbox series and program, visit AIToolbox.co. You can sign up right now. You can be in our system, and we can be helping you build websites this week. Now, on the other hand, I know there's a bunch of people, they don't want to build the websites. They don't want to learn how to do this. They want help. So we do have the ability to help you create websites where we handle everything, all the details, no prompting, no AI, no video editing, no coding for you, just conversation. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email, and we will shoot me an email at maxi@latimerlabs.com, maxi@latimerlabs.com, and we can help you with the full service package. Now, I have a whole list of these resources right here, some of which we did not cover. And let me just talk through a couple of these things. Okay, so for planning and preparation, MindMeister.com is a mind mapping tool. For many of us, it's hard to conceptualize and organize things in a linear manner using words. A mind mapping tool like MindMeister is a tool that allows you to drag and drop and connect ideas randomly in a way that's very visual. You can take that output from MindMeister. You can take it can output a PDF file. It can output images, and you can use those to communicate with your vendors. So from a managerial perspective, if you've watched this whole program and you just want to learn how to guide and manage your team, then you may use a tool like MindMeister. You may use a tool like Figma to draft your ideas and to get them out, and then hand them over to a developer or hand them over to an agency who can help take those to the next level. Let's see, what else do we have on this list that I did not touch on? I mentioned about Cloudflare. Okay. There is, if you are interested in learning how to do advanced web design, Amazon AWS, you can set up an account at aws.amazon.com, aws.amazon.com. They have a free tier for experimenting. And in that free tier, you can use a service called Lightsail. Now, this is a very technical process using Amazon AWS to create websites. However, if you want to learn how to build websites for people on the highest, most scalable level, going into Amazon, learning how to use Amazon AWS and create websites in there is the way to go. You can also go to another service called DigitalOcean.com and Google Cloud. These are other cloud service providers. Now, in terms of making our content, we all are using ChatGPT. We are using Gemini and these other tools in order to create content. But there are specialized content tools such as Jasper AI, which are designed in order to help the workflow, and they are specifically AI oriented for creating content. We also have tools like Leonardo.ai to make images. Within within ChatGPT, we have the DALL-E app. We have midjourney.com. All of these can help us make images. However, fortunately, many of our page building tools now include image and content generation tools directly in it. Elementor, GoDaddy's website builder, Wix website builder, TinWeb, all of these have the ability for us to use AI within the page builder to help us generate our text and our images. But this goes back to why it was so important early on for us to identify our target audiences, the type of website, the keywords, our competitors. Now, one of the things you can do as you're doing your competitive analysis is you can go through and find the websites that you love. You can take screenshots of those websites, put them in a folder, and hand those to your developer. But there's another thing you can do using ChatGPT. You can take those screenshots, attach it directly to ChatGPT, and tell it to make notes on that website for you to use with your website project. Now, we're coming up on our hour mark, and I don't see any questions here, but I do want to let you know that if you're interested, you can receive this PDF file here with all of these links and all of this information just by just email me, Maxie@Latimer Labs, and I'll send you this file directly. I want to keep it personal right now because really it is, as I mentioned, the things that help us delineate our businesses from other people's, but our personal efforts, our personal stamps, our personal brands are one of the ways that we do this as well. So my personal brand is now AIToolbox.co. It is the first new offering of Latimer Labs, but we have lots more coming for you guys, and I can't wait to share. Since there's no more questions, I'm about to wrap it up, but I hope you can visit us at AIToolbox.co, visit us at LatimerLabs.com, visit us at AI Toolbox Bootcamp. I'm Maxie Collier. Thank you for joining me on today's presentation. I hope you have found it valuable. See you the next time.